nothing. I'm just gonna walk around and look because I ain't gonna buy nothing. Boy, a lie does not care who tells it. So this is me in the trim section of Fine Fabrics back in May when Raven and I went for Atlanta Frocktails. I knew it was time to think about my Cowboy Carter outfit, and I was like, maybe something would just hit me as, some type of inspiration. So I found this black trim that had like white rosettes all over it. I just thought it was the most gorgeous thing. So I was like, it's gonna be black. It has to have this white pop out. I just wasn't quite sold on what it should be. So then I walk over and I run up on this black lace. I was like, hold on, because this ain't your regular lace. Like, this was like very classy looking, kind of heavy duty. Like, it had to come home. I can't really say it any other way. Child, I got home and was just looking through some pictures that I had in my phone and forgot I had bought this hat out of Cato, of all the places. Cato, do y'all see these pearl buttons on this hat? So I was like, what would Beyonce do? And I went to Pinterest and I went to Beyonce in black and lace. And I saw this and I was like, something gotta happen. I gotta make it shake, but I can't go to jail. So what we gonna do? Because something needs to be done, because I cannot put all my baggage outside for y'all to see like that. Like, no, things need to be covered. But I had about roughly 2 months to work all that out, and I desperately needed to finish a project for one of my friends that I had promised her, and girl, it had been so long I didn't even charge her for it. It was what it was. So I was whistling while I worked, on her wig or what have you, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna finish my dress and all the things. My hair is cut short, so I'm gonna give y'all this funky low cut with the hat. I was ready to just do it up. And so I finished her wig and I said, let me try it on to make sure it fits. And girl, so this is the inspiration that kicks off Cowboy Carter. So one of my best friends needed me to redo her wig for her. It needed a new wig cap, and it was a full wig. So this is the closure and the cap is underneath here. But it took me a minute because y'all know I have everything going on. But last year, no, probably about 3 years ago, I started redoing wigs on a sewing machine. So I did this for her. Like I said, it was what I had going on. It took me so long. But this has like a peekaboo red or whatever. I just literally took it from an old cap and did a new one. But I was so pleased with how this was going. I was like, girl, you just bought a slew of hair like last year, and I've been wanting like a fun, funky kind of color that I just refuse to ever put into my hair. Like, color days for me are gone. If it ain't artificial hair, I'm not gonna be able to do it. But anyway, I was like, why don't you make your wig for Cowboy Carter? That'll be funky. And so I'm letting my curls grow out just enough for the combs to be able to clip them out, to grip my hair, because I love pop clips, because you put them in and then you pop them down and they lay flat. It's just a vibe. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started, but I want y'all to see the inspiration behind it. My friend will not mind me playing in this wig because it's a brand new wig cap, but she has to wash the hair. We already knew this before I did this. So I'm about to pass this off to her, but I want y'all to see the inspiration behind it. And I know she's gonna style this up good, but let me go ahead and get to work on my Stay-on-say, my Stay-on-say wig for Cowboy Carter, baby. Bye. And in true Stacie fashion, I had to travel for work. So guess what made the road trip with me? My brand new sewing machine that I got in the midst of Joanne's clothes. Now at the moment it's on ice, but we'll talk about that once I figure out what's wrong with it. But back to the story. So I had purchased a bunch of wig caps, and the one that I grabbed to come with me on this trip was not the one that I intended. And you'll see why in just a second. But I always have a wig head ready to roll with me. I always have the wig stand that you can clip to a table. And I'm gonna be 100 with you. I have a folding table and folding chair in my trunk at all times because I just do so much. It just helps life. But this wig cap was not ideal for what I was about to do, because I grabbed one that I did not realize was, if you wanted to move your part. I don't know if you noticed that on the front of that packaging. As you can see, that big V right there. So I was like, well, my hair is short. I only let my curls grow out, you know, enough recently to be able to, you know, it wouldn't look like something was laying flat to my face, you know, like I wanted there to be some type of hairline to blend in if I so choose to wear the wig without a hat. Anywho, you know, you give me lemons, I'm gonna make lemonade out of it. So I basically knew that once I started stitching, I needed to make sure I stitched across that opening. You know, I did not want my low curls in the front popping out in the midst of the wig. So, you know, I was strategic in the way that I stitched it down. And I'll walk y'all through this kind of quickly. However, there's a whole TikTok video that I made about 2-3 years ago showing you how I make wigs. But at any rate, let's go. So I always keep some Tailor chalk on you. Always keep T-pins. That way you can stretch your wig cap down as far as you can, because you want to, you know, make sure that it can withstand the stitching. You know, you want to make sure that it's not too tight when you finally put it on your head. So I would say do your parts about a 1/2 inch. I think an inch is a little too much, and it does not have to be precise. You just want to do it such that you can, number one, stitch down your closure in the front. Always start with that, and then you start stitching below, and you'll see why it makes sense to do that. Anywho, so this is the hair that I selected. Now, again, I was on the road, so I had to roll with what I had, but I knew I wanted some color, and I always need some layers. Okay, I love that, because even though I know how to trim hair and whatnot, I want to win half the battle before I get started. Like, I knew that this hair overall, I was just gonna wet it, you know, and make sure I put a little product in it to make it fluff, but I did not really want to have to put heat in my head. Anywho, this hair was mixed, and by mixed I mean it's half human hair, half synthetic. This is why reading is fundamental, because I have worn enough synthetic hair, human hair, and a mixture of the synthetic and human to know that these types of hair can all be worn and maintained if you know what you're working with. Synthetic hair is just that, it's plastic. Okay, it's clothing and it's not hair. Okay, it's not real hair. So what I know to do in those type of situations is the least amount of product on it, the better. The least amount of product on it, the absolute better. So again, these are the natural Malaysian body waves that come in this particular type of hair. Again, the store was going out of business, and the hair was marked down so cheap, like, y'all, I could run a store from the amount of hair that I bought from her over the 2-3 weeks that I went in there leading up to her closing. Anywho, let's go ahead and get back to it. I just wanted to make sure that I inform you, if you get hair and it says that it is mixed, I know that there is some human hair in there, but you mess around and put too much heat on that synthetic hair, you have melted plastic. You ain't doing nothing with that wig but wasting your time. So now we're about to stitch. I thought I had more of a frontal type of closure, not the old school closure. I don't know where my mind was, but needless to say, I had to keep rolling because time was not on my side. But I did let my curls grow a little bit, such that my snap clips that I'm going to stitch into the inside of this wig cap will be able to grip my hair and clamp down, such that I can go and, you know, be Beyoncé while Beyoncé is on stage. Okay. So, flag on the play. I was moving too fast. Didn't realize this is truly just a closure, not a frontal. So it's okay. I'm going to take some of the 16 and stitch it across the top. I'm still going to start there because I want to make sure I cover this up. So I will probably go side to side. But again, most important thing is this needs to be covered such that I don't have any peekaboos, but I'm gonna have on a hat, so is it really gonna matter? You know what I'm saying? And then the good thing with getting like body weight and stuff like that is, even if you don't feel like curling it, you know, to still look like something. So it comes with a closure, and it is 16 inch 18 and 20. So basically you get two 16-inch bundles, to 18 to 20. And I'm talking like this because I always try to keep in mind that there may be somebody watching my videos who is absolutely clueless as to how to begin with putting hair in. Now if you want something quick, you could do a quick what do we want to call it, a quick weave, and that actually would be something I would do today, because there's really no damage with a quick weave. You just gel your hair down, let it dry, put a stocking cap on, and glue it over the top of the stocking cap. When you're ready for it to come off, wet your head, the whole thing slides off. There's no damage, no breakage from the thread, any of that. But you know, we're making a wig. So how this will go is I always start with the closure. Trust me, you want to start with your closure. I will stitch the closure around the center of we have the outline, like look at how the cap is made. So I'm going to stitch the closure around here. And even though I accidentally grabbed the wrong stocking cap, wrong wig cap, because of that opening right there, the closure will cover up that opening. But as long as there's some stretch to it, that's all I cared about, because it needs to be able to get on and off my head without issue. So we're going to go closure. And then after that, we're going to, right beneath the closure, like the top of your head, you'll have the 16-inch, the 18s, and the 20s. But what I normally do is I put the closure at the top, and then after that, I will start with the 20 at the base of the neck. The reason I like to do that is because that lets me see how much hair I have if I need to start moving my tracks closer as we go up. And full disclosure, I have 2 packs of this hair, so we will definitely have enough if I absolutely have to break this open, but I don't think I'm gonna have to. I just want to get through the night and be cute. So let's go ahead and get started. So at this point, you see that we are now back at my home, and the reason that whole setup of the wig got started in the hotel room is because unexpectedly, unfortunately, I had to travel for work. I'm going to say against my will for once in the almost 11 years that I've been on my job, but that's another story for another day. And even though I took the sewing machine and the wig and all the things and paid for my own hotel stay, I still didn't have time to stitch the wig. Anyway, the job was done. We must move, and that's what we're doing. But do you see how easy it is to make a wig? I'm not trying to take money out of anybody's pocket, but if you know a good person to source hair from, like, number one, send them my way because I always want some good quality hair just to have in my, my back pocket. But number two, get your hair, get a wig cap, make your 1/2-inch lines, make it around the structure, of how your hair would naturally grow, and do a zigzag stitch. It's just that simple. I would narrow the zigzag stitch a little bit, but that's it. Stitch on the weft, and that's it. Zigzag stitch, just make sure you stay on those chalk outlines. Now, nothing will be perfect, I don't care how hard you try. You may go over the line, under the line, but that's just that 1/2 inch is a good gauge, and that allows you to see if you need to start moving those tracks closer as you stitch. And because I like to put the hair in layers, that's why I go the 20-inch on the bottom. And just so happened this pack had 16-inch, 18-inch, 20-inch. But I always put the longer hair on the bottom, and then you put the next shorter on top, such that the hair is going to end up in layers anyway. And then I do like a little complimentary, comb and, slight trim to make it blend better, whether you're going to curl it or just wet it and put a little product on it to let it blend. So yeah, making a wig is extremely easy. I hope this helps somebody who has wigs in their closet that they have been wanting to revive. They didn't know what to do. It's so easy. If you have a sewing machine, seriously, now you got to take time to cut the tracks off, however they were originally put on, but I use regular black thread, all of that. The only time I use the true hair weave thread is when I am say I made the wig and I want to wear it on my head for a while. When my hair was longer, I would braid my own hair down, and then I would stitch the actual wig to my braids just so I can get up and go and not feel like I was confined to wearing those hair clips. Okay, But it was at this point that I realized I never showed you all when I put the closure piece on. As I recall, it was super early in the morning. I was just trying to do what I could when I could. So I pulled out an old TikTok video the very first time I made a wig. So this is the closure piece, like the size that I thought it would have been in this packet. But this is the one that I had when I made my very first wig. And I hand stitched that down. So you see, I kind of laid it over like a flap. And I stitched around the edge, and for this I was like, yeah, let's just go ahead and zigzag around that, and kept it moving. So this is me midway. You see the closure and a little ball in the front. It just gives a great plane of view for adding all of your layers. You want to be able to see how much space you have, how much more you may need to fill in. So I did dip into the other pack, but overall I still have enough left that if I want to make a full out extra wig, I can do that. So I was pleased with it. This is my try on. It fit under the hat. Baby, let's go. Let's make this dress so we get to Beyonce. So you have seen this dress before, okay? If you are following me, then you know that I recently hosted Sew Your View for the month of May 2025, where I sewed the Monica dress by the fashionable therapist, Jessica. After hosting that Sew Your View and making that dress with just a cotton, like it was a very lightweight denim, but after making that and making the adjustments to make it fit the way that I wanted it to fit, I was like, you know what? Some stretchy lace is exactly what this dress calls for. So I could not wait to cut into this pattern again. And of course, based on trial and error, I made some adjustments that I knew would make me happy. So I cut this pattern down one more size, but I only cut it down in the skirt part. I left the top where it was. I only cut the skirt because I needed that to fit me. I know, you know, I have some extras, but I know what I feel my best features are. So I was like, we're gonna accent these the right way. You know, seeing that I was gonna be partially naked, baby, I had to do it the way that I knew I needed to do it. So far so good, but I ran across these zippers that changed the game for me. No, you cannot appreciate these zippers up close on the dress because the dress is black lace. But what you can appreciate is the fact that allowed me to finish off the seams across everywhere there needed to be a zipper. So basically, I turned my free edge in, you know, turn in maybe like a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, stitched it straight down, and all I did was lay the zippers directly over the top of the two overlapping pieces that would be, you know, the skirt opening up. Genius. I don't think I would have ever even looked at those zippers had I not been making this dress. So I essentially laid the zippers on top of the fabric. That's it. Nothing extra. I laid it directly on top. Look at how cute that is. Yes, it's a detail that only I could see up close, but I was so obsessed with this. And I did the same thing to the other side. So again, I just turned the edges in, finished them off by turning the fabric under one time and doing just a straight down stitch. After that, laid the zipper over the top and just came straight down, straight stitch. Did the same thing on the other side. That was it. At this point, it was time to get in the car with Raven. We are en route to Atlanta. The dress is made. Oh my goodness, I did not have to take the sewing machine. But what is this? What is this? What is this traffic? Okay. We were desperately trying to get there, but as always, there's going to be traffic, but it lifted, which gave us just enough time to go into Fine Fabrics and pick up some much needed thread, because who am I getting my thread from? Joann's is gone. Baby, when they say they close at 6:30, I mean they close at 6:30. When I tell you they cut the lights off on us, I'm so weak. Like, I say, lights off, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Raven over there with her buggy. Oh my God.
So y'all,
when the people say they close at 6:30, they mean 6:30. Okay, they cut the lights off.
listen, did you hear the light switch though? It said goosh. I ain't gonna lie, we kind of raggedy for showing up that late. We a little raggedy.
We didn't go there and get no fabric cut, but damn.
Dang. I said I just want some thread. I ain't never heard a light switch so loud in my life.
So listen, they put the store in the Bat Cave in like 0.5 seconds. Like, we looked up and boom, it was shut down. So anywho, we're finally en route to our hotel. And if you know, you know that the last time we came to Atlanta, it was just a whole mess. I try not to cuss on here, but baby, we had a time and we had to promptly leave our first hotel and go to the next. So I let Raven get out because we couldn't figure out the parking situation, and then I ran up on a protest, Jesus Saves, hallelujah. So we finally made it into our hotel room, and it was the cutest little thing ever. But do me a favor, pinch your index finger and your thumb together. That's how small our room was. But it was what we needed. We were close to everything. And of course, the shenanigans began. So Raven got some content. It was priceless. I had a deadline. We went to Chili's. Got kicked out of there because they were closing, but we did get to eat. Went to sleep, woke up the next day, and then it was time for some true fabric shopping because this was the first time that she and I had come to Atlanta together, and we weren't leaving out on Sunday. So we drove over on Saturday, did like a whole bunch of stuff in a little bit of time, and then on Sunday we woke up, and yeah. So pulling up to get okay fabrics, I'm kind of excited, but in the same breath, I know there's some things I need to do when I get back to this hotel room in preparation for the concert.
I came for thread, but whatever Gail K got, it might be cute. So let's go ahead and get a few things because it took months and Sundays to get here because, yeah, we made like 40 wrong turns. All right, let's go. This is so pretty. And if I didn't have so many of these heavier fabrics, I would get it.
Because my heart has been on fire for sundresses, I absolutely needed to get that silky cotton, the white with the flower on it. And then this is a more sheer silk. I think that will become a caftan, maybe an open kimono, you know, open robe or what have you. And I just thought the panel on this was really, really pretty. So yeah, as if I needed any more fabric, I walked out with 2 cuts of fabric because that's who I am. All right, countdown to Cowboy Carter. Clearly I'm wearing a wig tonight, and I feel like the shenanigans will be shenanigans. And so I was like, I don't want this hat to fall off my head. So because I had just finished making my wig and I had some more snap clamps, thought I would put one, well actually 2, inside my hat, such that if I get too excited and lean, or for whatever reason my head tilts, you know, I won't lose my hat, like falling 4 rows down or something. So I'm done using my weaving thread, like my wig thread. That's just kind of difficult to work with because the holes here are so small. But I just figure I'll just throw a couple of little quick stitches in and we're gonna keep it moving. It ain't got to be the greatest thing in the world, but just something to kind of help the situation. So again, nothing major. These probably won't be stitches as secure as the wig, but just something to help because I just want to go and have a seamless time.
Which I'm sure if my wig was to, not my wig, my hat was to fall off. Hell, even my wig, girl power is at an all-time high. I'm sure somebody would hand me back my wig and help me place it. But no, but seriously, I just thought this would be cool. I've also seen Shay Nicole put a panty liner in the front rim of her hat to try to preserve the, you know, the hat or whatever. This is not an expensive hat. I have a lot of wide brim hats and whatnot that I just don't wear, but I thought this was so cute. It kind of was like what started the idea for my outfit, because y'all know I had to make it. When buying that outfit, babe, I had to make that. So there's that. I'm just showing y'all how I throw these in. My nails are atrocious, but they won't be in the next couple of hours. Know that. So again, I just want to show y'all a quick and easy way to secure your hat. And then when I'm done, I'll throw one more in. But if you're not familiar with snap clamps, I can link them from my Amazon store in the comment section of this video. And that's gonna be that on that. And if you know anything about me, you know I hate hand stitching. Because the convenience of the sewing machine just has me spoiled.
Okay, so it's almost showtime, baby. Now I am putting in the last of the 5 clamps that I stitched into the actual wig. I didn't have time to do it before I left Birmingham, but it wasn't a game. That wig needed to be secure because I just didn't know what to expect, because Cowboy Carter, baby, like, I was so ready. I was like, it's so many angles that B's show lineup can come from, and I needed to be ready if I needed to roll my head off my neck.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
And wham, she's ready, baby. She ready. And this is the look. I worked real hard for about a good 2-3 days, brought this look together, drove across state lines. Baby, we got to the venue literally on our own personal carriage. Shouts out to Meech. And yeah, he hopped the sidewalk. That's the clip you saw in the beginning. But baby, Beyonce, okay, can we get into my girl? She came out swinging. I was not prepared. I tried to not watch as many clips as possible because I wanted to take it all in. And when I tell you, from the moment my girl stepped on stage, Jesus, I'm gonna be quiet and just let y'all enjoy the rest of the clips. And yeah, it was a moment. Let me hush. Baby, a time was had. Oh my God. And then we turned into pumpkins again. Baby, the whole Uber situation was a hot mess. When I tell you, I just didn't know how we were gonna get back. But that's the end of this. We will go into more detail about this dress because I'm about to give y'all a whole sew along on the Monica dress. Sit tight for that in a couple days. So I am so glad that we made it to the end of this video because it's been recorded and edited for a second. I haven't had the strength to do the outro, been on the go, and then I messed around and got sick. So now that we're here, I'm so happy that I had the vision to do the Monica dress again. Like, okay, such a good time, such a vibe. The dress is on point. Like, I hate to be that person to like toot their own horn, but baby, once I made that dress one time and was like, okay, I think I like it better if I do this, that, and the other. And not that anything was wrong with it, but just for the vision I had for Cowboy Carter. And then y'all know I'm always looking for inspiration. So just the way that that all kind of just came together. Like, I wasn't even thinking about that hat when I picked it up back in March. I wasn't even thinking about the concert. I just wasn't. But I was like, that hat is too funky to not come home with me. And like I said, I just kind of had this, oh, what can I do with this trim? And, oh, okay, well, it's black with white. So let's go with black, just black, and more black. And then the lace, and then the dress, and then the zippers. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I wish I could have turned the light on and been like, y'all see my zippers? Y'all see my zippers? Let me stop before I start coughing again. But that owes me absolutely nothing. Yeah, so y'all already know whenever Raven and I get together, the jokes, the laughs, the foolishness will be endless, and I'm here for it. Everybody needs that friend, especially a friend who does the same thing as you. We have our own professional lives, but sewing, costuming, we are here. Like, this is, let me turn this. Costuming of any sort, baby, we are here. We are adult show and tell, Halloween. That's us all day long. So, man, to just sit down and morph into a Beyoncé creature, I was so here for it. Like, give it up for her outfit. My girl made a jacket, a cropped, lined denim jacket with fringe in the summer. Who you know? Okay, who you know can pull that off? Like, her outfit ate. Like, I may have to throw that in here real quick, get another little spin. But her outfit was amazing. I didn't want to be too naked, but there had to be a pop of something. So, that's just it. I feel like we all kind of know what works for us, but I still am who I am, and I'm like, I can't just be outside naked. So, I mean, that was literal panty girdle. I made sure it was like brand new, fresh, holding whatever needed to be held. It was just, I love the way that it came together. Now, the things that I feel I always need to tell, because somebody somewhere needs to know that nothing is perfect. Nothing just comes together the way that you think that it would. Y'all heard I kept talking about my nails the whole video, right? I kept talking about my nails. I still had my bag, packed my nail bag that I had traveled to Maryland with a couple weeks ago. And I was like, yeah, the bag is already packed. All I got to do is just, take it with me. I'll soak my nails off when I get in the room. Child, y'all already saw that, number one, the room did not have a desk. It literally looked like a dorm room, but we had fun. We made it work. I finally managed to get like a little setup where I soaked the nails off, and I got like maybe an hour and a half before we need to get ready. And I said, Raven, like, I remember, we got ready to leave my house on Saturday. I was like, okay, I got my bag, my this, my that, my that. I'm talking about, I had gone to the beauty supply store while we were even in Atlanta to just grab stuff like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and this will make this work. Took the nails off, and I was like, Raven, where my nail bag at? So I just knew I had left it in the car, and to get the car from valet was a whole headache in itself. Baby, in the end, that bag was at home on my bed. I had walked back in the house to do like a last once over, and I guess I set it down on the bed, and you toss your sheet or something. I like tossed my comforter. Don't know how or why I was in my bedroom. Tossed the comforter, and it was under the comforter. So I went bare fingered. Who cared though? That's what I'm saying. Like, life is about living and just having fun. So made the outfit, made the wig, all of these things in like 2.5 days tops. Went, had a ball, we ate, we laughed, all the things. And yeah, the nails never happened and it was okay. So let's see, Fine Fabrics, they shut us down. Chili's, we got our food, but after we ate, it was like, okay, we get ready to leave. They flicked the lights in there. So it's just a good time and we were light on our feet. And I just want everybody to be like that when they're getting ready to go to stuff. Last update before we get that, well, not last, but second to last. I did select a winner as far as who could figure out what I was going to wear. That winner is Tall Tip, Tiffany H. She's actually one of my sorority sisters. I selected her from Instagram. I'll throw her clip in here, well, her comment, as far as like guessing what I was going to wear. No one exactly figured out my outfit, but hers came the closest. So, I hope she's watching this. If not, it doesn't matter. I'll make a little announcement on Instagram as well, letting her know to slide in my DM and give me her information. And I will get a nice little gift over to her. I do appreciate you all engaging with me because you don't have to. I say that all the time. That's why I always, call y'all my best friends. Yeah, so last thing, and I'm going to go, and I'm not even tripping. Y'all know I was on this rush. Go, 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 go. Help me get to 4,000 watch hours. Yeah, I had that blue dress video. I did not realize that blue dress had gotten over 10,000 views. I'm not sure how, like, if it was all within the July 26th, because that was the day that I posted it in 2024. At any rate, reading is fundamental. Not that I saw anything to read before the fact, but I didn't know that the timing was going to move 365 days for the 4,000 watch hours. So I had the 1,000 followers, but where I was like 3,300 watch hours and I was going, baby, July 26, 2025 hit, which meant it had been a year since that video hit. The way my hours have dropped, the watch hours, and that's when I went back and looked and was like, I just didn't realize. My nose keeps itching out. I'm so sorry. But I was like, I just didn't realize that many people had watched that video. Like, when I see my analytics, I saw the little summary and it was just showing like 1,000, which I guess should have registered to me like, go look further. At any rate, keep watching my videos. I am in the 2,000 watch hour range and it's okay. And I'm saying this because this may help somebody. Pay attention to what you have. If you're trying to become a YouTube partner, just pay attention, to the dates and the watch hours that you have. So even though technically you could say that video for me went viral, I'm kind of glad that has come and gone, because now I'm like, I don't really need another moment like that, because it's almost impossible to have a bunch of videos that are going to hit the way that blue dress video hit. So please watch my videos. I will be very consistent, especially now with the posting, because there's no stress to it. Like before, I was just putting a lot of unnecessary stress on myself because I had a goal I had set. So watch this video. And I don't know if you figured out by now, the reason that I did not go into a whole lot of detail about the black dress is because I have a sew along for that dress coming. So it's the Monica dress by the Fashionable Therapist. And although Jessica said she's going to eventually have a sew along for that dress, y'all know I did do that for Sew Your View in May of 25. So the last couple of months have just been like boom, boom, boom. So what I did, well, you'll see it when you get it, but I'll have mine come out and we'll talk about it, and I'll kind of go from the dress I made and then reach back and talk about the black dress for Beyoncé, and that's that. So if you have not subscribed, again, like don't have me questioning our friendship, because I thought we were, I thought we were cousins. So please subscribe, stick around. You all have been extremely nice to me. Like I said, I've never had any ugly comments. I think the strongest one I may have had was, why are your videos so short and not in the orientation that this camera is in now? So that was a lesson learned for me, and I do appreciate that because I do appreciate feedback. So subscribe, watch, share, all the things. I will see you all soon and very soon with another video. Please be kind to yourselves. Please get up and move your body. I sit and type and sew and all those type of things, and after a while I can feel it in my lower back and my hips and whatnot. So even though we are doing these things for pleasure, get up and move your body. And y'all know I'm the supplement queen. So, Arbonne is where it's at. If you have any health issues that you want a little bit of assistance with, let's talk about it. I'm here for you. All right, y'all, bye. Love you. Bye.